Ho ho ho, it is finally here. The Phasmophobia Tempest Christmas update of 2022 is here and we're gonna read the patch notes together in this video. Keep in mind this update is gonna release for the general public in about 24 hours. We have some early access, so I'm gonna be streaming it all day long over at Twitch, twitch.tv/psychohypnotic. I would love to see you there. But let's not waste any more time, let's look at the patch notes. Alright, here we go guys. The update is called Tempest. Major update. Weather 2.0, reward and ghost adjustments, new settings and more. With all the recent paranormal interference, the weather around certain locations has become more hazardous and intense. Ghosts have been haunting locations longer and longer each night, with some disappearing just before the sun comes up. Will you brave these new conditions? With this update comes a host of small features, improvements and options. Additionally, there will also be another language update in the near future, 8.1, to add more features and surprises. Holiday 22. From now until early January, you can take part in the Phasmophobia 2022 Christmas event. Earn yourself a unique holiday trophy for your collection, as well as an exclusive Holiday 2022 ID card and badge. That is really cool. I'm also giving away 3 of those badges, by the way. If you're joining my stream, I can update you on that one. Find out more information by clicking the holiday sticker on the main menu. All right. Reward changes, custom difficulty. With the addition of custom difficulty, we have seen so many exciting, unique and challenging games being created, but we would like to redirect what the purpose of custom games is. And there are several reasons why. We'd like custom difficulty to be primarily used for fun and interesting games with a unique twist similar to other games with custom game modes, without the worry of how much you're getting out of it. It's very difficult to balance each option's reward to have a corresponding and fair reward multiplier. Because of this, it's incredibly quick to create games that are potentially much easier or faster than their default difficulty counterparts, but give the same or even more rewards, which makes the default modes redundant. That's true. With our analytics and player data, we can see that the large majority of players still play intermediate and professional. I heard that as well. Having a set of reward per custom option makes them very fragile and limits what we can change for the default difficulties or any future difficulties we'd like to add to the game. Lastly, with the large upcoming changes with progression 2.0, we'd like experience and money to be gained fairly for every player, and try to avoid any cheesy reward tactics if you can. We would never do that, right? Because of these reasons, we are making the following changes to custom rewards. Custom difficulty will now have an 80% reduction applied to the reward multiplier. What? Holy 80? We know this is a huge change, but this should separate custom games into a challenge and fun mode and keep the default difficulties as the main route for character progression. In the second part of the major update coming soon, we'll be adding something special for those wanting a regular harder challenge than Nightmare, and something super special. So much special. Note, current and future challenges like the Apocalypse Challenge will still be accessible in custom and still grant trophies for your collection. Alright. Investigation bonuses to compensate for the above changes. We are adding some additional rewards for playing well in the default difficulties, which will reward players who have the sharpest eye for ghost identification. Yes, please, that's good. We'll also have changing the rewards for secondary objectives to encourage players to complete the primary objective each game instead of ignoring it. That's good. Added payments page to the journal. Oh, cool. Investigation bonus. If you can identify ghosts correctly and escape alive, you will double the money and experience you earn for the primary and secondary objectives you complete during that contract. That is cool. But maybe you can also basically abuse that, like just triggering a hunt or something. We will see, right? Perfect investigation bonus. If you manage to complete the above, but additionally collect the bone and fill your journal with 3-star photos, you will gain an additional sum of money and experience on top of the investigation bonus. That is pretty cool, because then it's actually rewarding your gameplay technically, right? Secondary objectives have their rewards reduced to make way for the investigation bonuses. Okay. Note, investigation bonuses are affected by the difficulty multiplier. Okay. Which is reduced by 80%. Ghost types. Every update we'd like to look into the ghosts and need some love. We found that some of the ghosts needed some buffs and some needed changes to help with low evidence runs. Here we go, guys. Here we go. All ghosts. Hunting ghosts model flickers are now synced across all players. Cool. Which should also help the hunt for the reliability. That's pretty cool. I had some really hard issues with that. When I'm playing multiplayer, I'm usually playing single player, but when I played multiplayer, I had these issues actually. When hunting ghosts now affect lights at the same range as equipment. That was always bugged then. If on the same floor, right? If on the same floor. And the Raichu has a bigger one. The Raichu has a 15 meters range, and all other ghosts have 10 meters. But yeah, the building lights were actually, I think they were affected a way larger distance. So this always was kind of buggy. That's good that they fixed it. Wraiths have been adjusted to match their journal description better. Wraith will never step in a salt pile. Ooh, that is actually a cool change. I like that. Updated journal weakness. That will make the Wraith way harder to identify. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Obake finally remembered how to shapeshift. During a hunt, Obake have a 6.66% chance each time it flickers to shapeshift into a different ghost's form. They will have returned back to their original form. Dude, I suggested that. That is amazing. I like that. I thought they couldn't do that. When I asked them to do that, they were like, that's hard to do. I don't know. But that's awesome. That's amazing. I like that. That's actually really subtle change, but then you actually have to get yourself into danger to figure this ghost out. But I really like that. That's really cool. And I think the percentage here, the amount is also good for that. But we will see, right, how this turns out. That's really cool. This is guaranteed to happen at least once per hunt. Also good. So that is so keep your eyes peeled. I really like this change. They wanted to make it even more subtle by only changing like the shadow of the model, right? But I think this is way easier to implement, at least from my understanding, to just flicker another ghost model there. But that's cool. Revenant, the legendary Revenant has been left behind in the ranks of the new threatening ghosts. So we are finally returning some former glory to the Speed Beast and adjusting how this ghost hunts, hopefully placing them back to the podium. Instead of slowing down instantly after losing line of sight, Revenant will keep their increased speed until reaching your last known location. Holy shit. Their speed will now decrease gradually over 2.7 seconds, 0.75 meters per second, instead of instantly. Okay. So it takes like almost 3 seconds to slow down to the original speed. That is nuts. Yeah, that will make looping even more fun, right? We're gonna try that for sure. Goryo, as Goryo have a history of disobeying their roaming changes, we finally put an end to the over-exploring ghost. Goryo can no longer change favorite room and roam long distances. Yes, thank you. That is good. That is good. That makes no evidence runs so much better. Thank you so much for that. Hantu's secret abilities visuals have been adjusted. Hantu's cold breath will now play in any room during hunts if the breaker is off. That is actually good because it was very subtle anyways. I have not really noticed it at all because it was only technically in the ghost room, right? Or like below 3 degrees Celsius or something. Now it's everywhere if the breaker is off. That's cool. Hantu cold breath visuals have been improved, so maybe it's better visible now. We will see. Maybe it's too easy now, who knows, right? To figure this out. Urei can no longer use their ability when there is no door in its current room. I would love that they also adjust the Urei so they are actually useful on something like the campsite. Because on the campsite, it just touches the door instead of just fully closing it because of the tent doors. I would love if they would address this with the Urei as well, but yeah, that is okay, I would say, right? At least you can track the location of the Urei and then just see if there's a door in that room where he's at, and then you may actually be able to figure it out that way, right? Who knows? New. The Unity rendering pipeline has been updated to URP. Spreading some URP is Universal Rendering Pipeline, right? Spreading some of the load to the GPU usage, increasing CPU performance and allowing us to access new features. Very cool. Fog has returned. Yes, Fog will now be able to Fog will now only be where it makes sense and has received a new visual overhaul. Locations will start at the same temperature as clear weather, 8 to 15 degrees Celsius. Cool. Sunrise weather has been added. Really? Locations will start with temperatures between 10 to 18 degrees. Weather effects have been completely recreated from the ground up. Rain and snow have received large performance increases and improved visuals. Cool. New graphics options have been added. Skylight for enabling sun or moonlight in each location. Very nice. Screen space ambient occlusion. Cool. Fog quality, fidelity effects 1.0. AI upscaling for better performance. Cool. Only compatible with AMD RX 400 GPUs and newer NVIDIA GTX 10 series GPUs and newer. Anti-aliasing options. You can now choose between FXAA, SMAA, and MSAA. VR players can only choose MSAA. Well, that's really cool that we can choose that now. You can now place crucifixes. What do you mean? Place? When placing the crucifix, you can now see the range of its effect on the environment. Very nice. I like that change. I mean, technically, it makes everything easier, but I think for people that are always asking what the range is, that's really cool. All post-processing effects have been adjusted and improved. Added a text option for voice recognition. This will show UI for selecting what question to ask on the spirit box and Ouija board. That's really cool. Especially for new players. If you swap to a new PC or reinstall Windows, your save will now revert to your personal cloud backup. Cool. Changes. The smudge sticks burn effect has been improved. What do you mean? Not just the visual? The haunted mirrors effects and visibility have been improved. Okay. Transparent objects and effects will now receive shadows from lights. Okay. Resetting your save file will now wipe your cloud backup. Okay. Improved performance on campsite maps. That's good for... I never had problems on campsite map, but I heard a lot of people have. But that's cool. Fingerprints have been moved on willow doors to be more consistently placed. Cool. Never had much problems with that, but that's cool. Radios are now interactable with the breaker off. Okay. So we can... Okay, that's cool. All players must now be further than 5 meters from the Ouija board before it breaks. Instead of just the person who activated it. Ah. Okay, that's just a multiplayer thing then. Cool. The Ouija board will now auto-deactivate when walking outside the map. So you cannot cheese it anymore. Sanity pills no longer disappear when using them. Instead, they now drop on the floor and are no longer usable. Cool. Improved all candle wax effects when lit. That's cool. Improved 2 hiding spots in Sunny Meadows. 1 by the restricted area door and 1 in the restricted wing. Was that where CJ actually... That was where CJ died. Nice one, CJ. That was one where CJ died the other day. That was so funny. Small tent cloth is now translucent. Cool. Fixes. The average sanity objective will now complete at the same time for all players. Cool. The bone will no longer spawn inside of other objects. That's a very good change. Thank you for that. Tripods no longer count as electronic equipment after removing a camcorder. That's a funny bug. Willow windows are now the correct way around. Cool. The complete daily challenges. Weekly challenge will now only trigger when a daily challenge completes instead of when it progresses. Cool. You can no longer scroll to another item while placing something. That's cool. The ghost room will now show on the boards in the truck in training. Wait, the ghost room will now show on the board in the truck in... Oh, just in training, I gotcha. The Diogen Spirit Box reply will now work if you are not crouched. I didn't even notice that this was a bug. The morgue door VR grab point is now in the correct position. Cool. Hitting the crouch button, then physically crouching in VR no longer pushes you enough into the floor that the ghost cannot kill you. Wait, I should play VR again. This is so hilarious, these bugs. Computer monitors in prison no longer turn on when the power is off. That's cool that they finally fixed that. The ghost repelled stat will now count if you are not the host. Okay. In Sunny Meadows, the female hallway light switch will no longer toggle the utility room's light switch. Wait, that was a thing? Didn't even notice. Journal on-off buttons are much clearer to understand. Cool. The EULA concept accept button will no longer be clickable until you scroll to the bottom. I mean, nobody's gonna read that anyways. But the object's moved stat will now correctly count poltergeist throws. Cool. That means basically that counter will skyrocket now if you have lots of poltergeists. It's cool. Your inventory will no longer break if you grab more than 1 item before joining a game. Wait, that was a thing. Room reflections will now be accurate after turning a light on and off quickly. Cool. Russian and Ukrainian fonts will no longer have grey boxes around most characters. Okay. VR death room spawn position is now correct. All right. That looks really cool. I really like especially the weather changes and of course, and the ghost changes. I am very curious to see how these are actually playing out, especially Obake. I want to see that, and the Revenant. I am very curious to see that. Let me know in the comments what you like about this update, guys. And yeah, hopefully we see us later on Twitch, right? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, all these patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. Mwah. Big schmouts.